The American Deer and Wildlife Alliance is proud to present Deer and Wildlife Stories. I'm Keith Warren.
Right on, baby.
I'm a hunter, a fisherman,
That's what you don't want to do. See, that thing's going all the way through my hand.
a conservationist,
Oh, come on.
a family man, and I'm proud to be a deer farmer.
Me? Yeah.
I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories.
Really? Folks, this is the new age of deer farming. High Roller Whitetails, East Texas. We are the first commercial video cameras ever allowed on this place, and you're not going to believe what they have inside here.
This is one of our darting blinds. We're going to put a cameraman in and see if we can get some good footage of some of the bucks this morning. We got a fancy chair in there. Mark, I hope you can handle that bucket.
Oh, it'll be all right.
You have an elaborate fawn raising facility here. Last year you bottle raised about 170 fawns, and this year you've got 3. What gives?
Well, we decided that the mothers did a better job, and it took a lot of expense out not bottle raising. Once our deer got to a certain point and were calm enough in the pens, and we treat every day. If you take the 5 gentlest out of the equation, the 5 wildest out of the equation, we couldn't tell them apart, the bottle raised to the non-bottle raised. The only thing we could tell was the non-bottle raised were definitely heavier at weaning.
So you're letting mama do it, and I think that's kind of a cool deal because a lot of people in the industry are really looking towards bottle raising. And so for those of you in the industry that are out there thinking about that, listen to what James said, because it is cheaper, no question about it. And if they're gentle, that's what we want, gentle deer.
It just takes time with them.
Now this is a completely different facility from the one over there, and what's unique about this, at High Roller Whitetails, there's not very many people that have a facility like this. I think you said there's 7 in the state.
That I'm aware of.
Okay, tell them what this is and why it's so special.
Well, we're just CWD accredited. We can move deer out of the state. Mm-hmm. You have to be monitored for 5 years before any of the other states will accept deer that are CWD. Texas borders are closed to come in but not go out.
So if somebody's up north, Wisconsin or Illinois, whatever, and would like to get some high roller stuff out of this facility, you're accredited and can take them right there.
You betcha.
Pretty cool, because a lot of guys up north are wanting some southern stuff.
Just a little bit of paperwork and they're on their way.
Get it done.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by the North American Deer Farmers Association, New Dart, the North American Deer Registry, DNA Solutions, and High Roller Whitetails.
This time of year, there's so much blood in their antlers that the deer, there's just no insulation in the antlers and the blood, and their body temperature gets up really fast. So the deer have got to stay in the shade to survive. One of the keys to getting the antlers to really grow, I feel like, is to have the water in a convenient place, because they need to eat a lot of feed, but they also need to drink a lot of water. We put our water troughs in the shade so that the water temperature stay cool, where the deer spend the majority of the day. They'll get up and drink 8 or 10 times a day, where if the water troughs were just in one spot in the pen, they might only go drink at night or in the evenings or in the mornings. The way we locate our water troughs, it just helps them so that it's convenient. The deer are lazy by nature. Does he do that everywhere he goes?
That is as pretty a 1-year-old deer that's on the planet, right there. He's absolutely gorgeous. But I gotta ask you one question. You've been in the deer farming business since '06. Why is it that you've been so secretive and quiet until now?
Well, we were waiting until we actually grew the deer on the ranch to really showcase and show them.
The ones that were conceived and then born here, right? In other words, a lot of people can go out and wind up buying deer. No question about it. You can go out and buy deer. But the key to a successful farmer, right, as far as I'm concerned, is when you can produce them on your own farm.
That's right. Quality over quantity.
Every single time. Okay, here's the next question. If, as I ask every deer farmer this, if you had one piece of advice to give the potential deer farmer, one piece of advice, what would that be?
Buy the best does you can.
Best does, not bucks.
No. If you build your herd around solid producing does, the bucks will come. And they're here.
Boy,
We've been really blessed.
Oh my goodness. And that's 1-year-old. And now his name again?
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Okay. Kid Rock. And that other big one is his brother, you say?
Yeah.
That's Bo Cephas. I'll remember that name, Bo Cephas. I need to remember Kid Rock because it could be the biggest yearling I'll ever lay my eyes on. Now, who's that one in the back there that's kind of skittish back there?
The wide one with the multi-points back there, that's Jesse James. That's out of a Longhorn doe in Maxbow. He's a nice yearling.
That's an understatement. Okay, now, so you've kind of been quiet about your deer herd, okay, and now all of a sudden we're going to help you kind of get the word out about it. Would you invite people to come out here?
You bet, anytime.
So if somebody wants to come out here, all they need to do is what, give you a holler?
Just give us a call and come on.
Okay, you got a website?
You bet.
Now, what's that website address?
HighRollerWhitetails.com.
Pretty easy to remember. We do a lot of stuff with people talking about DNA and the registry. How many of these deer are DNA registered and why?
Well, 100%.
All of them.
Yeah. We DNA everything. It makes for a lot easier record keeping.
That's a high price though. I mean, it does cost about $65, I think it's
$65 a pop.
But you've got pedigrees and you can prove the background on every one of these deer. And then tell everybody about when you line them up as far as trying to breed, how you do that. You can look at the pedigrees and how you try to imagine what you got.
You spend lots of hours just looking and dreaming of pedigrees. I know we do.
Well, what was it that made you get in the deer farming business?
Just a passion for whitetail.
But you're a hunter. I mean, you've hunted all your life and hunted deer and elk and all, but you're a deer farmer. And I look at it and I think almost every deer farmer was or continues to be a deer hunter. And I think that's kind of unusual for a lot of people to understand, but we're not hunting these deer.
Most people raise deer because they can't get enough.
Yep, that's right. I mean, we can't get enough. And this is a way that Even though we do it 24/7, we still can't get enough.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Chaffee, Pasture in a Bag, Oilfield Camo, Record Rack Deer Feeds, and S&S Whitetail galore.
All right, we're in East Texas, far East Texas, actually out of Shreveport. How far out of Shreveport are you? How big is the place? And tell me about the trees that you have out here.
Well, we're about 50 miles from Shreveport. We're about 20 miles from the Louisiana border. We're in deep East Texas. We've got scattered pine and oak timber.
Your pins are very well manicured. They're all real pretty, and the ground is a lot of sand clay, and there isn't any brush, but I'll tell you what, the pins look like they're manicured. They're beautiful.
Comes from lots of hours on the lawnmower.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you something. You can tell a lot about a man if he takes care of his deer pins better than he takes care of his yard. Let me tell you something, James Butler's yard looks nice, but it doesn't look as nice as his deer pins. That says a lot about him, I think. Well, most deer farms this size have got a pretty big staff, but I know that you don't. But you have one key employee, Russell, and I'll tell you what, I am blown away at him.
You know, he helps with every aspect of the farm. He's been with us just over 3 years. He does a super job.
I mean, every time you look at him, he's working. He's sweating and working his tail off. Got a smile on his face. Kind of like that. Who cannot like working with deer all day long? Deer farmers around the country belong to a national organization, or most of them do, and it's called NADEFA. I'm a member, and I encourage everybody else to be a member. I know James is a member. Tell everybody the reason why they should be a member of NADEFA if they're a deer farmer or want to be a deer farmer.
Well, NADEFA is a one voice for, you know, the whole nation. It's a great organization. NADEFA brings all the state organizations together and has a national convention that's awesome. They do all kinds of workshops, and it's very educational. I encourage any deer farmer to be a member of NADEFA. There's no better place to learn about the deer industry than NADEFA. You can see from small farms to big farms, all walks of life at NADEFA.
We'll have more contact information coming up from NADEFA later in the show. Before we take a look at all those bucks up there, I want to show you something now. When you come to High Roller Whitetails, or you see High Roller at a show or anything, you're going to see James Butler. And people think that this is all Butler's. Well, it's not. Butler has a partner, and his name is Terry Bailey. And you come out here, you may see Terry, but he's kind of behind the scenes, but he's an integral part of this operation. In the office at High Roller, you'll see there's a board up here, and this is a pen layout. It's got the facility down here, and he has 42 pens total, and around 800 deer. Now, if you take a look at the wall right here, these are what I like to call his franchise bucks. And this right here, any one of these deer, any deer farmer in the country would love to have. Well, out here at High Roller, they've got tons of these deer. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you take a look at it, this is a 5-year-old Bambi yardstick. You've got Gladiator Express at 2. This is a 1-year-old Kid Rock, 1-year-old.
Keith, I just remembered I've got something I need to do back in the office. If you don't mind, it's the time of year when we do our yearly fecal collection. We're going to collect some fecal samples, and we're going to send these off, make sure deer don't have parasites. So if you don't mind, just take these baggies, go right here in this pen.
Got some rubber gloves?
No, sir, I don't. No, you'll be all right. Just be careful.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be, when you get done, just holler at me. I'll be back in the office.
All right, thanks.
Okay? Appreciate it.
Oh boy, what a privilege. I always get stuck with doing this job for whatever reason. But you may be wondering, why in the world does somebody on a deer farm have to pick up deer poop? Deer windup will get parasites, and parasites can kill an animal. And what you do is you get a baggie, and normally you have rubber gloves because it's not too clean a job, and you watch your step, and you wind up taking a sample, and you put it in a baggie, and you send it off to the vet, and he'll wind up testing it for parasites. If you have parasites, then you need to worm your deer. And right here is a nice little, not little, and it's not nice, it's good, but it is a sample. We're gonna see what we can do with this one. Oh, I may get parasites after this. Okay. Goodness gracious. Yeah, kind of like bean dip. Oh my gosh. This is really, really bad. Help, help. I don't know, they always tell me you want to make sure and pick up a full sample. This one's got the drizzlies. You got a rocket, that one. Vet, I'm sorry, it may have parasites, but also got a rocket. Okay. Russell, when he gets back, he can, this kind of reminds me of changing diapers. I had to do that all.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Bad Boy Mowers and Multi-Terrain Vehicles, buckbreeders.com, Whitetails Sales and Service, and SeamanSupply.com. Breed only the best.
We're here at the 6th annual ADWA sponsored Pickapalooza. The purpose of this event is to allow children and their families to come and experience nature in a very different way. As most of us know, hunting is not easily available to children these days, and so this is an opportunity for them to experience nature and get that understanding. My name is Henry CHIDGEY. I'm with Wildlife Analytical Labs. We're the folks known as DeerAge.com, the CSI of the mammal aging world. We're here today at a pig hunt, Pickapalooza, 6th annual Pickapalooza, where ADWA is really doing wonderful things working with young folks to introduce them to both the opportunities associated with hunting and wildlife, but also the responsibilities that go with being wildlife stewards and being good stewards of the land.
My name is John Ming with the American Deer and Wildlife Alliance. We're here today with our annual Pickapalooza hog hunt. We spend all afternoon teaching kids about wildlife, land stewardship, and nature. In the evening, we have a fun hog hunt. ADWA exists to promote the industry of hunting, wildlife, and nature. Kids today are more disconnected from nature than any other time in human history, and it is our mission to help educate them why wildlife is important, and we're taking this message across the country.
It's an opportunity for any child and their parents and mom and dad to come with them to give them a chance to have this experience of hunting. As most of us know today, the opportunity for children hunting is pretty slim, but ADWA has created this event and they don't discriminate against anybody. It allows these young people to have a place to come hunt and also an opportunity to learn more about this whole thing of wildlife stewardship.
The Pickapalooza is one of several events we put on throughout the year, from safari camp hunts to wildlife nature camps to teaching children in classrooms. ADWA exists to promote the industry, wildlife, and nature to the youth of the country. We welcome kids of all walks of life from any environment, whether they've been from urban or rural America. The main mission is to get them more involved in outdoor participation. If anyone's interested in either hosting a youth event or participating in an ADWA event, please contact us at www.deerwildlifealliance.org. We also welcome individual, corporate, and non-profit support.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. And for more information on today's featured deer farmer, contact the phone number that you see on the screen right now. Or you can log on to our website where we'll have a direct link from our site to theirs. And now a conservation message brought to you by the Hunter Heritage Foundation.
There's an old saying that goes something like this: if you want to know the truth about something, follow the money. Every day we see animal activists working to ban hunting in the name of conservation. But following the money tells a different story.
An estimated 75% of the United States conservation funding comes from hunting, fishing, and trapping. That's according to the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. This funding pays for wildlife refuges, habitat management, fisheries, and the list goes on and on. Sportsmen are the world's original conservationists, and we prove it by giving our hard-earned dollars for wildlife and land stewardship. So far in 2010, our license and permit fees delivered nearly $1.4 billion into state wildlife departments for habitat management, breeding programs, and more. But how much money did the animal activists donate?
What was their contribution to ensure our American wildlife has a well-balanced habitat? Zero. They do, however, spend about $150 million a year lobbying your politicians to strip away your ability to hunt. So the next time there's any doubt about who's doing more for conservation, follow the money. Then look in the mirror.
You can now watch full episodes of Deer and Wildlife Stories and our sister program, The High Road, online 24/7 at keithwarren.net. While you're there, check out our Facebook fan page where you can become eligible to win prizes and more. Look for our new program, Ranch Properties TV, coming up this summer. This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States military, past, present, and future. May God bless America.